Today I wanted to shoot an update on our leerii or helicopter catfish, in particular because this one in a jumbo 4,500 gallon, out of the blue he ate a lot last feeding, which was 2 days ago. So he's got a huge stomach, and this is 48 hours later, guys. Of course, when I didn't film the feeding, a lot of interesting things happened. He was hunting pieces of fish and squid that the pacu had in the mouth quite actively and taking it away from them. This leerii or micropogon, I don't know. I think they're so close looking that it's pretty much you can only tell them by where they come from. Leerii would come from not from the continent, from the islands, and micropogon would come from the continent, from the Mekong River, if I remember correctly. But anyhow, this one we bought from Shark Aquarium from George when he was still in business in 2015. Today's 2024, so we had this fish 9 years. It was already sizable, about, I want to say 7 inches, 8 inches. So we'll call it a 9-year-old, 10-year-old fish. He's kind of a runt. He only has one pelvic fin on this side, on the left-hand side. There is none on the other side. So I never expected him to grow huge, because mutations and deformities or missing limbs, missing fins don't occur alone. These mutations occur in bunches, and usually fish have other unfavorable deviations. If they have one that's obvious, they will have some that are not obvious. It's been very calm fish for us. When you read their reviews, people say that they bite strongly and they caution you. I think on Planet Catfish it says bites strongly when handled. Yeah, look at this stomach. But ours have, we've kept 2 in Rochester, New York, and 4 here in Naples, Florida. Right now we only left 2 others were adopted out. Our experience we've never had any problems with them even hunting other tank mates or biting me, I guess. Always been calm fish, relaxed. The only ones they don't like is each other, so they will establish a definite pecking order and enforce it. So and even that, I mean, this is not vicious. They do have very strong teeth. The tooth patches are formidable, and each tooth is sharp. It's a hook that is curved backwards towards the mouth. So if they bite, and they have a strong bite, I'm sure it would hurt a lot, especially if they thrash or shake. But again, we've never had such problems with them. So again, this is a 10-year-old fish. I'd say it's about 3 feet. It's pretty fair. If you take it out, maybe even more, or maybe about 3 feet. It's docile enough that sometimes pacu may take a bite out of the caudal fin or dorsal fin. I lost count how many times the dorsal fin on this fish has been damaged. I don't know if it's only pacu, maybe some other catfish have done it, but at least throughout the 9 years, maybe a dozen of times. And it always grows back just fine. See, right now on the upper caudal lobe is tattered too. which happens rather regular. Can be moody fish. Used to take only pellets, then started taking, maybe about 5-7 years ago, they started taking fish for us. Sometimes goes on long fasts. I think the last 2 feedings it didn't feed at all, but it still had a big stomach from prior feedings. So I wasn't too surprised. Today is Thursday, so Tuesday night, 48 hours ago, I was not too surprised seeing this appetite. But after it took, I think, maybe 2 more pieces of, huge pieces of fish or mullet than usual, I was surprised. Its stomach was bigger, guys, than it is right now. I mean, it has come down in the 2 days. Probably should have shot it, filmed it right away. These fish do not have spines in their fins because they're leerii, relatives of Wells catfish. So I could put this fish in a 25,000 gallon on the rubber liner. And I think I will do this eventually, sooner or later, when we take out koi out of there. But there is one in there also, so we're gonna go there and check him out. The other one we got, I want to say 2017, 2018. So we had here in the less aggressive 4500, we had 3 of them, and then 2 of them were adopted out, and one of them we moved to the 25,000 gallons. That's the one, if you remember, that was suffering from the B1 deficiency, and I gave him a B1 shot via syringe, and then I gave him a B1 bath after keeping it in the quarantine. And it came back. There he is. He's much darker because he's on the dark bottom, but he's also about 3 feet. Bulky, eats very well. He came back in fashion after I gave him the B1 shot. Why are you bombing this? When I first put him here, about the same week, I saw a big bite on its muzzle, on its snout, which I assumed was from the Wells, Mr. Wells. But after that, they see, like right now, they're side by side. They've been not paying attention to each other for the last 3 years. So I had no problem with these 2 silurids related to each other. Some people were concerned, I was concerned, but they don't seem to mind each other at all. So I don't know if that initial bite, if it was from the Wells or not. So right now he's in front of Mr. Wells. You can barely see him in the dark tank. So Mr. Wells is providing a good contrast for the viewing. Anyhow, so these are the 2 that we have right now. So this guy's about, we'll say 2018. So it's 6-7 years old. We'll call it a 7-year-old. Doing very well here. They don't like when I go inside the tank. They show themselves to be a bit skittish. Unlike Mr. Wells. Mr. Wells is not afraid of me. But leerii are. Alright. So that's a little story on the 2 leerii that we have right now. Again, there's a lot of fish in here that would fit in his mouth, like that little smaller Himalayan mahseer or golden mahseer. The cigar-shaped fish. I mean, he could attempt and swallow that, probably would succeed, but they've been together for 3 years. He never touched anyone. The big-eye tarpon, the ox-eye herring, freshwater tarpon. Again, as I said, this is consistent with prior observations. They don't go for their tank mates. And he decided to come over again. Okay, we'll film you again, if you're so willing. Smiley. I really would like to try Walago Attu, ATTU. I had this fish once, but for a short time. Walago leerii and Walagonia leerii used to be in the same genus as Walago Attu, but now they separate. So this is Walagonia, and Attu is a Walago. You see a lot of similarity with the whales. Eel-like rear half, very flexible, and very bulky fore half. A lot of similarity in those two fish. The way they're built. This one also has a very nice stomach, but not as big as the first one. This one doesn't have a nickname. The first one is named Zubatka, which means a toothy one. You noticed I installed a couple of stronger lights, so right now we should be able to see things better on this side of the 25,000 where it used to be very dark here. The eels are chilling. Seem to have come down. Sometimes some of them come up here, lay between these rocks too. Anyhow, Zubatka really surprised me with how much it ate 2 days ago. Spectacular stomach. Looks like he swallowed a volleyball. Thank you for watching, as always.